This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories.
And welcome to my review of Invincible Season 2, Episode 6, titled It's Not That Simple. And this was another really incredible episode, and I really enjoyed it. One thing that was really odd for me was, for whatever reason, Amazon Prime kept showing me Peppa Pig ads in the commercial break, so I would go from an extremely intense scene this episode, for whatever reason, getting advertisements for Peppa Pig, which makes absolutely no sense since on my profile the only things I've watched is Invincible and The Boys and the shows related to that. So yeah, honestly really odd, but really I think that this was an incredible episode. It did change a few things that we thought happened last week with both the characters of Ray surviving and actually having seen more Rex get shot. I thought there was going to be some way that he got out of it, but no, he was shot in the head and somehow survived. Not only that, it seems that he didn't suffer too greatly from having his brain shot, and although it does seem like he has changed a little bit, it seems more from him reflecting on how bad of a person he's been, rather than the fact that he suffered extreme brain damage. There's also some other interesting stuff in this with the one of the victims from that one episode last season. I don't remember his name, but it was William's boyfriend being able to recover and come back to the college. And we also get that great little bit with Donald, which I really forgot to mention last week, where he realizes what actually happened to him and that he is a robot and in a robot body, but his brain still is alive. And I wonder if that's what happened in this situation also. But it very clearly is affecting Donald, as the death of Kate is really affecting the immortal, who seems to have never really felt this way about someone and is really being destroyed by this. Even though he's lived for a long time and been in a lot of relationships, everything that happened with Kate is especially unique to him, and is probably best shown when he attacks Alan without really any reason. And that was honestly pretty interesting, but moving on to really just a few other things that, of smaller plot details, that was interesting. I really like the part where Debbie is going and trying to find babysitter for, well, Oliver, who she named after her grandfather. It is pretty interesting, and I like that she is doing this all really for Mark, and that she wants him to have a brother, not really out of any commitment to Nolan, who she still really has problems with. But going into some of the more major stuff, there is the entire development between the relationship between Mark and Amber, which is having them go and have these problems and try and figure it out. They go to other people, with Mark going to Art, and that was honestly really great. And Amber went to Eve, and that was a really well done scene where they're both talking about it, and it feels like they're most likely going to be breaking up because although they do care about each other, it just seems that both have some pretty serious problems with the relationship. But that was a scene where I think a lot of people are hoping that it ends in breakup, because a lot of people didn't like Amber, but Also, be fine either way, but I think that from what I heard, I haven't read the comics yet, but Mark does eventually end up with Eve in the comics, so I'm not sure if they're going to be doing an Arrow here where they change the love interest or if they will be parting ways because it also feels like that's what they're setting up here, that this relationship isn't going to work because Mark is just going to feel too guilty about leaving her behind all the time, and Amber really can't take the lying. But moving on to some other stuff, it was honestly just really great throughout the episode. The resolution from the last one was really great, and although they could have just ended the episode with the beginning of this, I think it was good in terms of, building up hype to have that saved for this episode. I also feel bad for the astronaut who is once again taken over by the aliens and had his life completely ruined. I also like that they stood behind their, well, not exactly ally, but the Shapesmith who definitely betrayed them and caused all these problems, and that they still want to help him and protect him, even though they totally could have just left him to be executed. And then the final part that I want to talk about is everything with the Viltrumites and the fact what Merc figures out, but also that brief scene with Omni Man, who is definitely going to be trying to break out, and was honestly really interesting with that Viltrumite person and how they want to build the Viltrumite back up before they execute him. But yeah, honestly, I think the invasion probably will be coming soon, since the Viltrumites will see Earth as a pretty great threat to them. But going to what Omni-Man told him, we have the fact that he actually wrote sci-fi books which were based off his adventures and things of the galaxy, and served more or less as a list of ways to kill Viltrumites. And when Mark gives this to Alan, this is going to be really helpful, and he does agree to help Alan and everyone fight the Viltrumites. He just wants to try and solve his problems now, but honestly, I think that this was a really great episode. I can't wait to see next week's, and I honestly want to know what you think. Please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you on the next episode of Legends and Theories.
Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.